Hi, I'm Brian, and I just want to talk about something that has been bothering me for a lot of years now. It's this thing called the Spouse Protection Act by our government, which they do not tell a whole lot of military retired veterans about. You could lose a lot if you get divorced, if you're not sure about what you're doing and have the information available. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to summarize real quickly because a lot of this information is found on the internet because it's not publicized in the news, national news, CNN. You just don't see it. So I'm here to inform you right now why this act is unfair. It all started back in Reagan's time, about 1981. I don't know what motivated this factor, but in 1981, the Supreme Court voted against making military retired pay uh, community property in 1981. Well, in 1982, Congress goes behind our backs, go behind the Supreme Court's decision, and all of a sudden, bam, the Spousal Protection Act of 1982 pops up, whereas you get 50% of your retired pay for 10 years of marriage or more. And I think that's wrong to pay somebody for life. That is not even in line with the civil courts. They calculate a formula for the years of marriage and you pay that, and once that's satisfied, you're finished. But no, the military and the government has to be different and misalign themselves from civil court, and they make us military veteran retirees pay the rest of our lives. 50% of your retired pay is gone. You have children, up to 65% of your disposable retired pay is probably gone. So, with that said, it is a deep crisis of disparity with no protections for the men and women in uniform. If a person want to leave you for whatever reason, they leave you high and dry and they take 50% off the top. No questions asked. Any state court in the United States will 100% give them 50% of your disposable retired pay, and they get it the rest of their lives. Doesn't matter about remarrying, doesn't matter about anything. You get served, okay? Now, with that said, all of a sudden they call themselves reviewing this act, and I have in my hand from military.com, you can find it. It says ex-spouse 10-year rule takes a hit. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? What they just did, or they're working on passing this in both houses as I speak to you right now. They are saying that they want to abolish the 10-year rule, period. They want to get rid of that. You know, it's like, why wait to get half that money, if you're not married for 10 years or more? Well, basically what it's saying to me is that if you are married a year and your spouse decides, man, I don't want to be with you no more, I don't love you no more, but I'm going to take half. That's what that is saying to me, unless they can explain it different than what I read. They are selling us down to river vets, retirees. They are really doing us a disservice. All of our hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears we put into this, they decide that they are going to punish us. There is no safeguards in it. They can any reason they pretty much want. If they leave you, they leave you. But guess what? If you fit, as it stands now, that 10-year rule or more, they get the money. And now, in my hand, now they're talking about, well, we need to fix that some more so we can screw the hard working men and women in the military some more by making it easier than winning the lottery to give them free money. And that's exactly what it is, free money. They are selling us down the river. That is the only benefit, the only thing that we got left being veterans, retired veterans. And that's the only thing we have left. They have taken everything else from us. We basically have to have our own health care. We got to pay for our own health, you know, unless you go to the VA and you still sometimes have to pay a small fee, but still, I mean, they promised us free medical and everything back in the day, but they watered down everything, and the only thing you have left is your military retired pay. And ladies and gentlemen in uniform that plan on retiring and you're married or planning on getting married, educate yourselves now so you can be prepared when you go to court, because right now we are getting bent over big time. And they know it. I've written congressmen, I've written my local congressman, I've written senators, ignored by senators, written my local congressman. He sends me a couple of bureaucratic letters basically washing his hands of it and dismissing it like, oh, it's all on the states. But it's not true, because after the Supreme Court did what they did, decided against it, you guys turn around in 1982 and say, well, we're going to do something about this to make it easier for ex-spouses to stick it to the military man or woman to get that retired pay. You can't tell me that is not better than a lottery. I mean, it's just too easy to abuse because there's no safeguards to protect the men and women in uniform, because you're stuck. It says you're giving the money and you're going to give the money. It's also in the United States Code, I might add, that has not been updated yet because they haven't passed that bill that's on military.com, which is right now it's in the Senate, and it's called S2766. That's pending right now. But if you want to find more information about this erroneous, unfair act that they've putting on us, it is called 10 United States Code Section 1408. You can find this on the internet, and it explains. Basically, it just, when you read it, you weep because it sells us down the river. And I want all of you men and women in uniform, past and present, to take a look at that, dig it up, because I'm going to tell you, they don't show this on the news. It ain't on CNN. It's not on ABC, NBC, CBS. You just don't see this publicized. So the American people and military retirees can look at that and say, you know what? That is unfair. You know, we need to be out there trying to voice our opinions about how they've been treating us, because basically they've been treating the military pretty bad. I'm a 20-year vet myself, or else I wouldn't be on here entertaining this video right now. I'm just trying to get it out there because this is the only thing I got. Because, like I said, I've written all these people, and only one person wrote back, and it was totally bureaucratic and didn't give me an answer. It just, I'm going to wash my hands of it and throw it away. You know, he says they don't have anything to do with it. Congressman Gonzalez, Charles Gonzalez, yeah, I'm saying his name because he pretty much dissed me. I'm in his constituent. If I got a problem, he should look into it and check it out, see if it's disparity, unfairness, and he should dig into it with all his might as a public servant, as working for us, taxpayers whom pay his salary. You know, it's just unbelievable. And I want this video to be seen by as many people as possible. I'm not saying that military ex-spouses don't deserve something, but it should be in line with civil court, whereas you don't have to pay people forever and a day until you die out of your retirement pay, which you put your blood, sweat, and tears in. I mean, 50% for the rest of your life? Who wouldn't jump on that? Who wouldn't try to game the system to get a piece of that? Because it's a sure thing, because you're going to get awarded that in a court. And I just think it's totally wrong. Totally wrong. No safeguards for us at all. Doesn't matter what circumstances was. Doesn't matter whether it was infidelity or any kind of impropriety in the relationship, your marriage. If they decide to leave you and you've been married as it stands 10 years or more, 50%. And right now they're talking about, as I said, the new bill, they're talking about no waiting period. They're basically going to get you right off the bat. If they decide, marry you, leave you, they get you. So I want to make this public as possible. And I hope everybody takes a look at this and say, this guy might have a point. People are out there gaming the system, and it's unfair. No matter how you slice it, it is totally unfair. And we need to band together as military retirees and get it, fight it, and get it to be fair. Get in line with civil court. Stop making us pay our hard-earned retirement pay the rest of our lives for anything less than 20 years of marriage. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. No civil court would push anyone to pay the rest of their lives out of any of their monies to somebody just because they're an ex-spouse. And I want to thank you all for listening. I hope people watch this video. I hope they check it out and do some homework. Look into it. Spousal Protection Act of 1982. Unfair. Look at it. Write your congressmen, your senators. Make noise because they're bending us over. They're bending all military retirees over. We have no recourse. Trust me. Read it. Thank you. God bless.